Welcome back to another episode of the Sports Oracle. I'm AJ Switek here with Bobby Hessling once again. Today we're giving a little prediction for the rest of the remaining games on the NFL schedule. That is the early Sunday games all the way through Monday Night Football. I think we have some good games on our hands here, Bobby. I know you have a few you're looking forward to get into, so
Yep.
let's just get right into it with the first game on the slate for Sunday at 12 p.m. Central Time. The Texans at the Jaguars. Kind of a bit of I don't know how to explain it, a toilet bowl, if you will. What do you expect from this one?
I'm gonna call it the tank bowl. That's what I'm gonna call it. No, it's the worst two teams in the AFC South, to say the least. Jacksonville. They had the motive of tanking for Lawrence, and here's Houston firing Brian, um,
Yeah,
Bill
Bill
O'Brien.
O'Brien.
Pardon me. I think they have right now, to say the least. I think that this is a game that's going to belong to Houston. I think Houston is kind of going through a little bit of a rebuilding year. They're going to get a top draft pick and they'll look towards next year. So I got Houston in this one.
Yeah, I've got to agree. I think the Texans have this one. The Texans have no reason to lose games. I don't know if you guys realize watching this. The Dolphins actually hold the Texans selection in this draft, due to the Laramie Tunsil trade, meaning that the current fifth overall selection is held by the Dolphins, not because they're bad, but because the Texans are bad. So the Texans, I think, should pretty well easily get rid of the Jaguars on this one, even though it's in Jacksonville. The Jets fan in me wants the Jaguars to take this one, so the Jets get one step closer to Trevor Lawrence. But I think, especially with Mike Glennon starting at quarterback potentially, I think that the Jaguars take an L here to the Houston Texans. Moving on to the next one, we got the New York Giants at the Washington Football Team. These are typically, when you look at two teams with these records, you think maybe they're tanking, maybe they don't want to win. But the NFC East, anything could happen. So these teams are definitely going to be fighting hard for the win. Who do you got in this one, Bobby?
Well, after going, what happened last or a few weeks ago where they went for it on and
They went
the
for
2 point
two.
conversion? That thing was.
Yeah.
I understand Ron Rivera. That's kind of the way he goes.
Oh,
It
I
didn't
don't.
work
I
out.
don't like that.
Yeah, it really didn't work out. They lost that game, giving the Giants their first one of the year. What I would have to do is I'm going to say Washington at home. Washington at home over the Giants. I think it's a little bit of a revenge game. Kyle Allen, maybe Alex Smith, depending who they go with there. I I like Washington in this one at home.
Yeah, well, as far as the starting quarterback goes, you said Kyle Allen and Alex Smith. It would definitely be Kyle Allen. He played great last week. He'll definitely get the nod there. I still think I like the Giants in this one. On paper, they're a more well-rounded football team. I like Gibson. I like Terry McLaurin, and I mean Landon Collins is likely going to miss this game with that injury. So I'm thinking I got the Giants in this one all day. Wayne Gallman impressed me last week. These are two teams, if I'm naming their top players, they're not too noticeable. I think that Chase Young could give them a hard time. I'm not sure if Ryan Kerrigan's going to sit out after he just requested that trade. If he doesn't, he's going to give Daniel Jones a hard time. Expect maybe a fumble or two per usual from Daniel Jones. But I actually like the Giants to get it done in this one. I just think that Ron Rivera honestly has not impressed me too much as the Washington coach so far. He's had a few questionable calls, like the going for two, like you said. I don't trust my offense in that situation. So I like the Giants to get it done here. Joe Judge to finally pick up a second win. If we're looking at Ravens at Colts now, Bobby, take it away.
All right. Well, this one I have is one of my 5 games to watch. I would want to watch this game. It is a noon game. It is at Indy. I'm pretty sure it's on CBS. I'm going to be watching this one because this one, in my eyes, is going to be a good one. We right now have a top team in the AFC South. Right now, they are tied for first with the Colts, and then the second place team, the Baltimore Ravens, who lost to the undefeated Steelers this past week. I'm going to go with the Indianapolis Colts at home. I think the Ravens lose their second straight game. I think that defense is a little bit too much for the Ravens and Lamar Jackson, and I just think that the running game gets going for the Colts, and I don't think they stop. And I'm pretty sure Philip Rivers. I have a feeling that Philip Rivers is
No.
going to have a good game. I will go Indianapolis over Baltimore. This is a game to watch for
Nope.
sure.
It is a game to watch, but it's not for the reasons you said whatsoever. That's just not true. The Ravens lost by 3 points to a very good Pittsburgh Steelers team today, an undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers team, and they were a Lamar Jackson better read at the end of the game away from potentially winning that game, depending on what routes develop. Ravens are still a better football team than the Colts. Philip Rivers has not done anything well this season, and Jonathan Taylor these last couple of games has finally slowed down, really brought down that yards per carry at this point. I just don't understand how you could possibly take the Colts over the Ravens outright. I think that the Ravens get back on track, get another win, and try to continue contending for the AFC North. Is all they could do is pray that the Steelers lose in a game that we will go over in a second here. Um, but the next noon game is the Lions at the Vikings. Vikings coming off a win over the Packers. Lions coming off a win of the Colts, who we just talked about. I think that this could be a pretty interesting matchup. I see both teams. The Lions were just buyers, picking up Everson Griffin. It seemed like the Vikings could be potential sellers, but after what just happened, I think that this could be a very close matchup. Maybe another overtime game for the Lions. Another one that will get their hearts going. Those Lions fans, so true. So, Bobby, who do you got in this one?
I think it's Minnesota. Lions, to me, are not a contending team. I don't care who they got at the trade deadline. That doesn't affect me. I will have to go with Minnesota. I think Minnesota, they got that win this past weekend versus Green Bay, and it was, I think in my eyes, it was a confidence booster. They're going to be a little bit of a team that's started off 1-5, 1-6, whatever. I think they're going to compete. I don't think they're making the playoffs at all. But I'm not going to count out Minnesota at all the rest of the season. I do think they could be a dangerous team. Give me Minnesota over Detroit, NFC North showdown.
I think Mike Zimmer and Kirk Cousins realizing that they're on the hot seat is making them perform a lot better. They have something to play for at this point. And at the same time, the Lions have really been in every game that they've played pretty much so far this season, maybe a few outliers there. But, I mean, both these teams, I think this has potential to be a game of the week between two teams that really don't even need the win too badly. I mean, the Lions have playoff potential, maybe, but I mean, I don't see either of these teams really doing anything major damage come December, January. But I mean, this is going to be interesting. It really is. I think I'm going to roll with the Lions here over the Vikings. Vikings, I think, got a little bit of a fluke win. I could see Kirk Cousins and company turning it around. That would not surprise me whatsoever if Zimmer and Kirk Cousins played with very hot butts, knowing that they were on the hot seat, and they just got to keep winning and winning them out of a position to draft Trey Lance and move on from Zimmer. But as it stands, I think that Patricia's in the same spot, and he gets the Lions the W. Next up, I think this is another one of your 5 games to watch, Bobby. The Seahawks at the Bills.
It is.
I'm just going to get out of the way now. I see the Seahawks beating the Bills. The Bills haven't really beat any real opponents so far this year. I know I'm a Jets fan, might be a little biased, but I mean, I'm not impressed with Bills football so far.
I'm trying to find this one. Did I not write this one down?
Well, it's got to be a top 5. It's got to be a top 5 game to watch.
No, I did not write it down. All right, well, here we go. I got to pick my winner. I have the rest of my winners picked, and I don't have Seattle and Buffalo picked. I'm going to go Seattle.
Yeah,
Russell Wilson.
I'm surprised we
Russell
even had to
Wilson,
think
he
there.
said this a few weeks ago in the Miami game. He says, I like playing at noon or 1 o'clock, the early slate of games, because usually we're playing late on the West Coast. And there you go. Kind of gives us a sense of energy. A lot of teams think we're going to be a little burned out from the flight. It gives us a sense of energy to play with a little kick in our step. And this is a Buffalo team that's kind of played lazy the past few weeks. It started off versus the Chiefs, I would say versus the Titans, carried into the Chiefs game, and carried into the Jets game. And here we are versus Seattle, and Seattle is one of the hottest teams in the NFL. Russell Wilson.
And Buffalo almost lost today. Cam Newton fumbled that game away. I mean,
right, yeah, and
the Bills really falter against better opponents. They're playing a very superior, well-rounded Seattle team. I like the Seahawks here, but you never know. Any given Sunday, Sean McDermott can coach this team to a W.
I think it'll be kind of close throughout the entire length of the game. But right now, I'll have to give Seattle the edge in this one. I got Seattle.
Especially, it's going to be exciting for them to finally get Jamal Adams back on the field after missing 4 games. Key piece of this defense, where they expected to play all 16 games like he always did for the Jets. He's a difference maker when it comes to getting in at the quarterback, and I think he'll make it a hard time for Josh Allen, as he always did in the AFC East.
Absolutely.
Moving on to the Drew Lock-led Broncos versus the Matt Ryan-led Falcons. Drew Lock coming off that nice little comeback victory over the Chargers. Broncos fans everywhere celebrating, getting up to 3-5, feeling like they have a chance. And the Falcons also coming. These are 2 teams coming off of a win. 2 teams that going into the week to now the best records have a little bit of riding high in them. Who do you got in this one, Bobby?
Well, we've heard I expressed myself about Drew Lock on how I think he is the answer for the Broncos. and I still think he is. I will go Denver in this one because Atlanta's defense, in my eyes, is not a suitable team. Denver or Atlanta's defense is not good. I think Denver's defense is better. Vic Fangio's a defensive-based head coach, which I don't think wins you games right now. But I think Drew Lock is going to be the answer in this game, and I have the Denver Broncos becoming a 4-4. That's hard to believe. A 4-4 football team through week 9. Give me Denver over Atlanta in that nice stadium.
Well, this kind of shows how big of a week this is that we're disagreeing again. I got Atlanta. I feel like the Broncos have not stepped up really, other than that Chargers game when it comes to big games. Drew Lock kind of gets down, doesn't step up in the bright lights. I feel like that's kind of been the story of this entire Denver team. I mean, Judy's had a case of the dropsies. Hamler really hasn't impressed me deep. I've been so excited to watch this offense. They haven't really impressed me. And when we go to the defensive side of the ball, they've just been riddled with injuries. They've been missing Von Miller. It's pretty clear. And I think that the Falcons, at this point, without Dan Quinn, are a different team. And I think that they all realize that a lot of these guys at this point are playing for jobs. And when you're playing for jobs, it's a completely different atmosphere than when you're just playing for a guy who you know will be back next year from injury. I think a lot of these guys realize that they need to win these games to get themselves a job in the NFL, whether if it's with the Falcons or a team in the future. I think this will be a really good matchup, but I still have the Falcons taking it. Next up, we got the Chicago Bears visiting the Tennessee Titans. Both these teams' records show that they have played well this season, but I think one kind of set himself apart from the competition. I got the Titans here pretty easily. King Henry, Ryan Tannehill without Adam Gase has been a completely different ball player. I think this is going to be a really fun matchup for the Titans. They should be able to run all over this team. This Bears defense definitely sharp, but their offense is going to put them in a lot of positions where the Titans are going to be starting with good field position.
Right now, this is another game that I have starred on the games to watch, and Chicago is a good defense. Tennessee is a good running attack. I'll be interested to see how these two go up with each other, because right now, when you see how these two teams match up, the defense...
It could be a trap game for Tennessee. It definitely
could be.
could be.
It very well could be. I think this is going to be a game that's going to be fought in the trenches. Which line is going to want it more? Is the defensive line going to want it more? Is the offensive line going to want it more? Is the front seven going to be just as good? It's really going to depend. I have Tennessee in this one. I have Tennessee going to win this football game only because Derrick Henry, I think, is just going to is just going to be just that next level better.
Yeah,
than,
he's too good. Him and Kamara right now are just playing at a different level of football. Both these running backs seem like it doesn't matter the defense they play. They're going to get it done. I agree. King Henry going to be able to get through this Bears defense. Right. Bears at that point would fall to 5-4. Man, that would have to be one of the first times ever if a 5-1 team misses the playoffs. That would be interesting. Definitely a storyline to watch. But the next 12 o'clock game, we got Panthers at Chiefs. I think this one we don't really have to put too much heart into. Kansas City Chiefs, pencil it down.
Right.
Too good of a team. A little something to watch there, though, if you are a Panthers fan. I'm a big Robbie Anderson guy. He's looked good this year. You guys have some future to look forward to. Jeremy Chin at safety positions look good as well. But moving into the next slate of games, moving from the 1 p.m. Eastern now over to the 4:05 p.m. Eastern games, we have the Raiders at the Chargers. Derek Carr versus Justin Herbert. Derek Carr, the veteran. Justin Herbert's playing like a veteran this entire season. Justin Herbert has really impressed me so far. He's looked like he's been in the league for years, and Derek Carr has been in the league for years. I think that this game could be interesting. As always, divisional games are always fun to watch. They always are played harder than normal. Bobby, take it away.
This is a game that I don't have starred, but it very well could be. You have the 4-3 Las Vegas Raiders are going to that new kind of spaceship field stadium of SoFi Stadium in Englewood, California. Who do I think is the better team in this? I think it's the Raiders. Who do I think is going to win? I think the Raiders. Because Anthony Lynn, I think it's not going to be very close. Score will say it will be close, but on paper, I don't think it will be close. I think this is a game that the Raiders are going to win in almost every category except passing yards. I think that'll be Justin Herbert, but I just have there's a feeling in my eyes where I'm going to see the Raiders.
I don't know about that.
Take over and beat the Los Angeles Chargers, not San Diego.
Since Justin Herbert's taken over, that hasn't happened yet, Bobby. There hasn't been a game up to this point where Justin Herbert's played and the other team is just one-handedly. They've all been good games, and I don't know if you know this or not, but the Chargers are notorious for blowing leads. But when they play from behind, they play hard, and I think that's what's going to happen here. The Chargers are going to be in this game back and forth the entire time. That's not even going to let Anthony Lynn bring out his worst side of the playbook. Of course, that side being the just terrible, consistent halfback draws and screen passes to the outside. That's not even going to have to be brought out because this is going to be a very good game. And I got Justin Herbert leading that final drive, getting this team excited as he already has. This is just, I think that it's crazy that the 2-5 Chargers, in my opinion, are just such a better team than that Raiders team with a winning record. Moving to the next game, 4:25 Eastern. We got Dolphins and Cardinals. In my opinion, this might be one of the most exciting games of the week to watch. This is our chance to see what the Dolphins really are. They've defeated 3 teams in a row now, all by pretty big margins, 2 of which were considered very real teams. Of course, the NFC West Rams and the NFC West Niners. Now they played their 3rd NFC West team of the year, the Cardinals. I think this is a very telling game for both teams. This is really going to let me know where they stand overall.
Yeah, and this is the thing. I have Arizona winning this game pretty big. I know people are going to say, oh, this is a big game for the Dolphins, which it is, but I don't think the Dolphins are going to win this game. I think Tua is going to get put in his place, as bad as that sounds. This is going to be an offensive shootout. That's how it's going to go. Tua's not ready for that yet. Arizona is, and so is K1. Give me Arizona. That is my lock. That's my lock. That is my 100%.
Okay, well, first of all, the fact that your lock of the week is that over Chiefs versus Panthers, I feel like you was trying to make a point of how much you hate Tua. No more Tua slander on Sports Oracle. We haven't seen enough from him to definitively say the stuff that Bobby said. But
I would not.
I got the Cardinals as well. I don't think it's because of Tua. I think it's because Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, Buda Baker. This whole Cardinals team is just a more well-rounded, more ready to win team right now. I don't think it'll be as handily as Bobby says. I think that per usual, the Dolphins will put up fight in the first half, lay some goose eggs in the second, and that's when the Cardinals will take advantage because Cliff Kingsbury doesn't play around. Moving to the Steelers versus Cowboys game, of course we got the 7-0 Steelers facing most likely Ben DiNucci. That's going to be a fun one. The fact that you have Cardinals over Dolphins is a lock of the week over this, I think, is interesting. So I kind of want to see what you have, how you have the Cowboys having a better chance in this one.
Yeah, this is a trap game in my eyes for Pittsburgh. Something to look out for. Pittsburgh is 7-0. They're going to be 8-0 after this. Dallas, I think, will play hard in this week, depending what happens on throughout the course this week. Will Dalton play? Are there going to be any trades made? Is Dallas going to have a fire sale? That's all going to be.
That'll be talked about. I mean,
yeah,
they're a good enough team in such a bad NFC East that maybe they're even a buyer on a veteran QB.
So that will be interesting to say the least. But right now, I'm going to give it to Pittsburgh. I know CBS's main crew, Jim Nantz and Tony Romo, are going to be there. So that's technically the game of the week during the afternoon.
Hey, I love Tony Romo. He's a great broadcaster.
I will say, give me Pittsburgh over Dallas. I think it'll be close. I think it will be hard fought for both sides. I really like Pittsburgh in this game. It's on the road. Yeah. It's in that beautiful stadium of Jerry's World. Give me Pittsburgh, however. That's what I got to say.
Yeah, more of the same. I agree that Pittsburgh's got it. I don't think it's as close as you think either. Based on Ben DiNucci's performance thus far, I'm just not impressed with what he's done. If Andy Dalton plays, maybe it's closer, but still, this Pittsburgh team, it just came off beating two elite teams in a row, and I just don't see it being close against a much worse competition for the first time in a while. The only way they lose this game is if they underestimate them, and Mike Tomlin is a great coach. He's not going to let that happen with his dogs. I think that the Steelers go out there and get a very fashionable win over the Cowboys. The team gets hype and moves to a solid 8-0. Now we got the Sunday night football game, as Kelly Clarkson likes to tell you, waiting all day for Sunday night. We got Saints at Buccaneers. I think you would be waiting all day for Sunday night at this one. This is my game of the week. This is going to be an amazing game. 2 firepower offenses who both have very nice defenses as well. Bobby, I'm just excited to talk about this one. What are you thinking?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Sam. the game of the week, to say the least. New Orleans and Tampa. The winner of this most likely wins the NFC South, regarding what happens the rest of the way out. That's my take on this. It's at Tampa. It's probably going to be a little humid. We're probably going to see a little rain because in Tampa it doesn't matter what the weather is because Tampa, the weather is kind of interesting down there, to say the least. Back-to-back weeks where Drew Brees and the Saints are playing a game outdoors, which is interesting to say.
Yeah.
That's kind of unbelievable to say, too. But right now, if I have to choose my winner, I don't think it's really close. And I really think Tampa is going to go out here and win this game by easily. I think they win by at least 14 plus. That's how I think this is going to go. I don't think New Orleans is there yet, depending what happens.
Yeah.
Unless Michael Thomas is playing, which I don't know if he is or isn't, because that's
He's turning into the Antonio Brown of the season. I hate to say it, but he can't stay on the field. It's been interesting. It's been a storyline to watch, but I don't know if it's as handily as you say. I think this would be a great Sunday night matchup. But I agree. I got Tom Brady and the Bucks. If I could pick a team to win the Super Bowl right now, it would be them. They're catching fire at the right time. It's just going to keep rolling and rolling. They're going to get better and better as the chemistry grows. Tom Brady's the real deal. Bill Belichick's struggling with Cam Newton. We'll get to that game in a second. I agree. I got the Bucks in this one. And now we move to Monday night. Bill Belichick and the Patriots at 2-5 move on to play in East Rutherford against the Jets. I think that'll be interesting. Jets just traded Avery Williamson, just adding more fuel to the rebuilding fire. Last time we saw these two on Monday night, it was the Sam Darnold seeing ghost game where the Jets were shut out on a primetime football game, and it was just hard to watch. It really was. So I think I'm still going to have to ride with Bill Belichick. He always has the Jets' number, and it seems like he will again here.
He will. And this is a game where I would watch out for the Jets. I think the Jets, if they're going to win, this is their best chance.
This would be it.
I
agree. If the Jets are going to win this season, maybe it's the Browns, maybe it's the Raiders. This is it right here. I think this is it. If the Jets want to pick up a win, other than maybe another Miami game, this is it. I agree, Bobby. If the Jets are going to, and I don't know if you know this or not, but in 1996, the Jets were 0-8. This was the worst season they've had since then. They finished 1-15, and guess when that win was? Week 9, just like this one. So I think we might have a similar situation here. If the Jets are going to win one, it's going to be this. So I agree, Bobby. Who do you have winning, though?
I do have Bill Belichick and Cam Newton.
Yes.
I think this is going to be the interesting thing. This is the thing I'll look out for. Cam Newton won't get the start this week. Jarrett Stidham will. As weird as that is for me to say, I think they work on with that. I think that will be interesting. Or at least Jarrett Stidham will get playing time throughout the game.
I think Newton will still start. I don't know. It's just so interesting. If they had a better backup, I could see them moving on. But, I mean, Cam hasn't played well, but then Stidham comes in and looks worse.
Yeah, right. It's going to be very interesting to see who starts and who doesn't. It's definitely something I would look out for this week. Is it Stidham? Is it Newton? Either way, this is going to be an exciting game for both teams. Not really.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said that.
Yeah, it's just really not. I think that.
There's better.
I mean, the Jets' other primetime game this year was on Thursday night against the Broncos. That game turned out to be a bit of a fun one towards the end. Hopefully, we could get some sort of game going here, something interesting for everyone to watch on national TV. But there you have it. This has been Sports Oracle. If you want to see our picks for the Thursday night game, go right back to our Thursday Hot Take episode posted yesterday. That was a fun one. I'm sure by now you'll know who's eating the hot pepper. You're going to have to go watch to find out, and you'll see us eating the hot pepper this upcoming Thursday. This has been Sports Oracle, AJ Switek, Bobby Hassling. A bit of a disagreement here. We'll see who comes out on top. Keep track of our records. Thank you guys for tuning in. Sports Oracle signing off.